Wait, you gotta hear this. How is it that Bill Belichick continuously ducks smoke from folks for being a bit of a creep? So what's going on out there? Hopefully everybody is doing good. Hopefully life is giving everyone out there all of the good and none of the bad. What's going on out there? What's good on the internet? What's good in sports? What's good in life? Name's Akeem Balaam. If you haven't checked out my recent video that I uploaded to my account talking about how the Green Bay Packer push to get the tush push banned from the NFL, that was a big fumble and turnover. If you haven't checked out my video on that, definitely, if you get a chance, certainly check that out whenever you can. It's one of my my latest creations on this channel, and I definitely intend to have more to come, in the coming days, months, and years. But I wanted to switch gears for a little bit, obviously, off that. Kind of staying a bit in the football realm, but sort of going to a different portion of said football realm. And this time, I wanted to mention a little bit about Bill Belichick. Now, of course, lots of folks regard him as the greatest coach of all time in the NFL. Won all those championships with the New England Patriots, obviously, when he had Tom Brady under center. But as of late, it seems as though that Bill Belichick has been drawing headlines for much different reasons. So apparently he's 75 years old. And it seems as though that as of late, he's been dating this 21, might as well be 21, pretty damn close to being 21, but 24-year-old woman. I believe her name is Jordan Hudson. Correct me if I'm wrong. But apparently he's been dating this lady, and that's one of the main things that continues to get me about this so-called relationship. First of all, what is a 75-year-old doing with a 24-year-old? I mean, I'm 35 years old, and I would not see myself dating somebody who is 24. So how does it make it right for a 75-year-old like Bill Belichick to go ahead and do something like that? It's giving creeper vibes when you think about it. It's giving old man creeper vibes, and I don't like it. Now, my thing is this. I remember, I believe it was about a month or two ago, that Shannon Sharpe got a lot of smoke on social media from folks because it turned out that he was seeing this 19-year-old, I guess this 19-year-old who happened to be an OnlyFans model, and then there was some stuff, some really salacious stuff that came out about the possibility that maybe there was, sexual assault or something like that. It was some unseemingly stuff going on with Shannon Sharpe, and he definitely deserves criticism for that. I mean, obviously, sexual assault is wrong in all matters. Domestic violence is wrong in all matters. Regardless, sexual harassment, whatever you want to call it, it's just not cool. But there was a lot of folk out here that automatically, they were all over Shannon Sharpe when all of this stuff ended up being revealed. And everybody was saying, oh, wow, this is exactly why Shannon Sharpe needs to, so-called leave those young women alone and, date somebody around his own age. And I definitely 1000% agree with that premise. Shannon Sharpe, absolutely. I mean, he's up there in age as well. What is he doing messing around with teenage OnlyFans models? So he definitely needs to be dating somebody around his own age, seeing women around his own age. But the problem is this. We had all this smoke for Shannon Sharpe, and like I said, he definitely 100% deserved it. But why isn't Bill Belichick getting the same smoke? Why isn't Bill Belichick getting the same criticism? In fact, I remember very vividly once this first came out, once it was first revealed that Bill Belichick and this 24-year-old, I guess they were obviously they were younger when they first started seeing each other, but I remember a while back when this relationship first became public knowledge. And a lot of the comments that I was reading under some of these news stories, and a lot of what I was reading, they were basically attaboying Bill Belichick, a lot of these folks. Like, yeah, Bill Belichick, you the man. That just shows you still got the juice. That just shows you still got the juice, even at 75 years of age. Let me tell you something right now to a lot of these folks out here that are going ahead and attaboying Bill Belichick for this mess. I want to see how you do. And I'm looking straight at you, a lot of you male manosphere YouTubers out here. I want to see exactly how you do when you're, say, in your 70s and you don't have Bill Belichick type money. Something is telling me that you're probably not going to do all that well as far as I'm concerned. And I think it's one of those things where it goes into a broader sense of how we look at these types of situationships, from a macro level. Like, if we were to see, say, somebody who's 75 and all of a sudden they're dating somebody who's 24, then it's a situation where automatically we're thinking, okay, this must be some sort of sugar baby, sugar daddy type of thing. Well, my thing is this. Lots of times when we hear about stuff like this, lots of times the onus usually falls on the woman. Usually it falls on the woman, and usually you have folk out here that are going ahead and they're calling the woman a gold digger. They're calling the woman greedy. They're saying, oh, this is a woman who's only dating this person for money because she doesn't want to go out and get a real job. Blah-diddy, 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 blah. And all this, that, and the third. It always falls upon the woman. My thing is this. When are we going to start holding these men accountable? Like, how come that all of the criticisms that we gave to Shannon Sharpe, how come we're not giving to Bill Belichick? I mean, if I remember correctly, Bill Belichick is now the head coach at North Carolina. By the way, North Carolina, that right there just shows exactly how much of an identity crisis that North Carolina is going through, because it wants so desperately to be a football school. The problem is North Carolina is a traditional basketball school. It is a basketball blue blood, and it is trying to make a big time splash hire the same way they tried to make a big time splash hire when they got Mac Brown, and they figured, oh wow, we got Mac Brown, we got Bill Belichick, that means we're going to get all these recruits, we're going to get all these folks, everybody's just going to come flocking to want to play for Bill Belichick. They're hoping that it has the same effect that when Jackson State and then eventually Colorado, when they had Deion Sanders in the case of Jackson State, and Colorado in the case of Deion Sanders, they still of course have him. But see, here's the thing. Young football players, they relate more to Deion Sanders. They relate more to primetime. You want to know why? Deion Sanders is a black man. That's why they relate more to Deion Sanders, because he speaks the language of young dudes, young black men in the South. That's why you have a lot of folks who have no problems going all the way out to Boulder, Colorado to play for Deion Sanders. I don't think that Bill Belichick is going to have that same level of success. And then on top of everything else, you got to take into consideration, Colorado is a football state. North Carolina is a basketball state. North Carolina is way more passionate about hoops, more so than they are about the pigskin. So they're trying to, in some way, shape, or form, trying to get that, those football talents that are coming out of North Carolina. But see, here's the thing. If you're a football talent out of North Carolina and you're approached by Bill Belichick, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, then it's like, okay, I'm approached by Bill Belichick. Then one day you happen to be approached by, I don't know, let's just say Kirby Smart at Georgia. Who do you think a young dude from North Carolina, a young dude from the Tar Heel State who wants to play football at the collegiate level and then has aspirations of one day wanting to be drafted into the NFL, where do you think that they're going to go? They're going to go to Athens. They're not going to go to Chapel Hill, because Chapel Hill is not the football hotbed that Athens, Georgia is. So this is clear identity crisis on the part of UNC. They brought in Bill Belichick thinking it was going to do something, and we're talking more about his relationships more so than we are football. And that's the thing here. That's one of the main things to always take into consideration. And like I said, why is it that this has become so much of a circus? Because in many ways, Bill Belichick made this a circus because he's the one out here dating this 24-year-old. I mean, like, what in any way, shape, or form, how in any way, shape, or form is this kosher? Is this ethical? Is this cool? I mean, he is dating somebody who, for all we know, could very well be his granddaughter. I mean, who's young enough to be his granddaughter. I mean, to me, there is absolutely nothing about this relationship that screams kosher, that screams that it's about love. It's clearly all about the money. And in my opinion, you got too many folks out here, especially a lot of you loser manosphere YouTubers out here who are attaboying this crap, when, as far as I'm concerned, this is just another manifestation of what I've been saying this whole time. We absolutely need to do better as a male species. Because my thing is this: if some of you out here had a 20-something-year-old daughter, how would you feel about the idea of your daughter dating somebody in their 60s or their 70s? You probably wouldn't like it. Am I right? I more than likely am. So why are we excusing Bill Belichick, especially considering the fact that we had all the smoke for Shannon Sharpe? And why is it that we continue to shield men from accountability for getting themselves into these types of relationships? Like I said, there is no reason as to why Bill Belichick, given the fact that he is 75 years old, there is no reason as to why he should be dating somebody who is 50 plus years his junior. So I just wanted to come here. I just wanted to come on here and just, like I said, just give my 2 cents about this, because anytime I hear something about this relationship, it's one of those situations where there's so much talk about, oh, is this more of a circus? There's so much talk about how this is affecting his coaching at North Carolina. But in my opinion, and there's so much about this being all about the money, and I think all of this is definitely true. But in my opinion, it all goes back to one thing. How is this cool that we are shielding Bill Belichick from the creeper allegations, from the pervert allegations? How is it that Bill Belichick is not getting that type of smoke for really coming across as a dirty old man? I could care less how much money he's got. A 75-year-old ain't got nothing in common with somebody who is 24. Somebody who is that age of Bill Belichick has absolutely zero in common with somebody who is practically 50 years his junior and could very well is old enough to be his freaking granddaughter. So just wanted to come on here and give my 2 cents about that. Rate, comment, react, reply, add, and subscribe, because I'm just one guy on here just trying to do my part to hopefully be a better species as men, because we absolutely need that. So until next time, this is Akeem signing off. Till next time, see you on the internet someplace.